All right. Hello. Happy Wednesday. For the 19th of February. Oh my gosh, March, we're coming. Masters is coming. Players is coming. It's coming quicker than we know. Oh, I love golf. Oh my gosh. You know, we went up to Vegas last week with me and my parents, and my mom had Oberg. She had hit a nice little bet there. I was thinking to myself, I'm the golf guy. I did pretty good the previous 2 weeks, but I'm glad she hit. If you could, though, please hit the subscribe and like button. It really means a lot to us as we're building this ecosystem out. And if you want, live on the wild side, leave some comments. I'd really appreciate it. It's a pretty short day now that the NBA is on hiatus until Thursday. We got the gold medal game for hockey between Canada and the U.S., and I really hate to admit it. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm a USA guy, but I'm rooting for Canada. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. You don't have to go far to see where I am on the political side. I'm not a very big fan of this administration, and I think, them picking on Canada, which is our best and most favored trade partner for the last couple of weeks, is kind of absurd. I do believe in something called loyalty, and I don't really see a lot of it these days. But let's get to the news. I also love tennis. Jannik Sinner, that guy's a cheater. Let's get it to what it is. So he tested twice for a banned substance last year. Said it was some cream his massage therapist used on a cut on his hand that got into his body that came up with the dirty test twice. Yeah, the dog ate my homework. Right. So just this week, he accepted a 3-month ban. Now, WADA wanted a 2-year ban. And we've seen players on the women's side who literally had a 2-year ban. This guy is the number one player in the world. He's coming off an Australian Open victory, dominant victory. This guy's a machine. And Nick Kyrgios kind of laughed off his explanation of why he tested dirty. He takes the 3-month deal. He gets to still play in the Italian Open, the French Open, and Wimbledon. No harm, no foul, right? Yeah, it really hurts him, huh? So he ain't going to go to the BMP in Palm Desert. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have a real tough time here. Novak, who I think is the moral conscience of the tour, and that's amazing, right? Because I am adamantly opposed about what his stance was on the vaccine, but he seems like a straight shooter. I mean, we can agree to disagree, right? He said it reeks of favoritism, and he's absolutely right. To me, they made a terrible mistake. They should have banned the guy for a year, at least, to show that the doping policy really does have some teeth. I mean, to me, and we're going to get the ESPN talking heads out at the BMP, Miami. They're going to, because they want interviews with Jannik Sinner. Right? At the end of the day, they're going to side with the superstar. Just like the media always sided with Tiger Woods, even when he was just a creep on a creep. Right? Yeah. It reeks. It reeks and it reeks and it reeks a little more. Vlad Guerrero Jr., the superstar for the Toronto Blue Jays, did not come to an agreement by Tuesday with the team. He says he's going to not negotiate the rest of the year. I think he gave himself a little wiggle room. He said in his press conference he's always got his ears open. The Blue Jays better figure it out. And I could tell you where we are right now. The guy's 25. He wants Juan Soto money. That's what he wants. And it's kind of like John McEnroe used to say, you always overpay for beachfront property in Malibu because it's Malibu. And you're going to have to overpay for Vlad Guerrero. You are. There's no doubt about it. But in the last couple years, Shohei Ohtani gave you the middle finger. Juan Soto gave you the middle finger. You need somebody to anchor the franchise. You really do. I mean, now I guess on the other side, you could sit there. I mean, this is their Mike Trout, right? He's not as great as Mike Trout, but this is the guy who anchors the whole team. And the team is going nowhere without him. Now, you could sit there and go, well, it's not going anywhere with him. That's true. But how are you going to replace that hole? I mean, his slash line last year was insane. I didn't realize how good it was. I believe it was 324, 400. I mean, this guy had a slash line was just insane. I didn't even know where he snuck up on us, but he did. And I will tell you this. I'm going to have it next week. The over-unders, I'll tell you who I bet. I thought it was a steal. Was Toronto was at 78. I tried to get him at 77.5, and the number moved up to 78, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the number as much. And the reason that I held back on the number is because I'm really afraid they're going to trade him at the trade deadline. Now, they're not going to get as much as they think they will, but they're going to get a lot. And at the end of the day, you get two real good prospects from AAA who's not going to make that deal because in free agency he walks and all you're going to get is a draft pick. So I that's why I didn't do it, is because I'm afraid they're going to go half the year without Vlad. And who knows? If they come back, if Vlad wants $700 million and they're only in the 550 range and they know they can't bridge that 150, I'm just throwing hypotheticals out there. Do you think about trading him next month? Do you think about trading him in March and getting a lot more for the full year? I mean, look what San Diego got for Juan Soto. They gave him up for a year. They got Michael King. They got some really good players. It's something you got to think of, because in that division, man, you're looking up at Baltimore, you're looking up at Boston, you're looking up at New York, and Tampa Bay is always competitive. If they actually had some money, my God, they'd be world beaters. Washington Commanders hired John Madden's grandson, Jesse, came from the University of Michigan, offensive quality coach. One thing about the NFL, it is the most incestuous league in the world. I mean, literally everybody on a squad knows somebody. I mean, really. When I heard Arthur Smith, he was the son-in-law of the guy who owns FedEx. And that's the guy at FedEx was in a dispute with Daniel Snyder over the ownership and the percent and what Daniel was doing, but he didn't want to launch a lawsuit because he thought it would affect Arthur Smith getting a head coaching job. Wow. And, if you look down those squads, everybody's got a name. Bill Belichick hired his kids. The Harbaughs, they do a real cute thing. They put their son or their nephew on somebody on the other guy's squad. There's, I think, 2 Harbaughs at the Chargers that are John's kids or close whatever. I mean, it's like, wow, man. And you just look in that league and it's just so incestuous. And that's why I think you don't see a lot of innovation in pro football, because they don't get new outside minds. I mean, you look at college football, you have, this is probably a bad example, you have like Art Briles coming in and you have all these different guys. And sure, eventually they make their way up to the big league. Pretty much they do. They're not Dabo Sweeney. They don't stay there forever. They're going to the big league. But, you get hamstrung on the roster because there's 20 coaches. Okay, yeah, you get to hire 6 of them, the offensive, defensive backs, whatever. But at the end of the day, all these offensive quality coaches, the guys in the booth, they're all related to somebody. They are. It's so incestuous. It's sick. All right. Big Ten SEC, they want 4 slots each in the CFP. I get where they're coming from. They're the big money guys. They're the two biggest conferences. They're driving the bus, but excuse me. Thank God for the podcast. I can get that air in, right? I don't know why the CFP is effing around. Just go to 16 teams. Then this isn't an issue. Let the SEC and the Big Ten just slice up half of them. Of course, by then they're going to want 5 each because it's all about the money. College football just finds a way to shoot themselves in the foot. They want federal legislation to govern NIL. You know what? You guys destroyed your own NCAA. You had a governing mechanism, and you did everything to destroy it. You held up investigations. You ignored investigations. Tennessee, you went to this Tennessee Supreme Court to overrule NCAA regulations. You guys do everything, and then you cry, oh, my God, everybody else is cheating. Well, okay. As far as I'm concerned, there should be no cap on NIL. You want a $100 million NIL? Fine. Whatever. Just do whatever. The kids deserve all the cash. Finally, BYU blew out Bill Self in Kansas, 91-57. It was Bill Self's worst loss. I thought they were going to be a formidable challenge to win the NCAA title, but it's not looking too good. We will see. I really think you're going to have to find somebody hard outside of Auburn or Duke. I did see a prop last week at Circa where you could get all the SEC teams and an SEC team to win the NCAA title and get it plus $1.50. And I was really tempted, man. You're getting 5-6 really good teams. I got to look at it though. We'll have to see. I want to see how Broome is. All right, if you could though, please leave the subscribe and like button. Leave some comments. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow.